From the Crush Studio in sunny Florida, this is the Disney Crush Podcast. And now your two tempests in a teacup, Dave and Tony Ann.
On this week's The Disney Crush Podcast, a group of kids of the Crush went to Disney together. And we're going to talk to some of their parents tonight to see how that trip was coordinated and talk about some of the highlights of the Crushin' Kid Calamity. I can't think of another thing that starts with C. The Crushin' Kid...
Cats. Herding cats.
Herding cats. I wonder if it was like herding cats. Episode 335. Herding cats comes up right now.
They'd have been better off taking some infants and some toddlers that couldn't really walk that good and just had to stay in the stroller. These kids probably bouncing off the walls, going all over the place.
And worse than any of them, Glen was there.
Right. So there's that. And I don't condone taking kids. In this case, I'm thinking you might want to take like the toddlers and the infants, though, on this one. No, we'll find out. No, I'm excited to find out how it went. I mean,
okay.
If we really want to know how it went, we should have had the kids on. That's what we should have had. Kids.
Right. Well, we need to do that again. We've been talking about that for like 6 years. Oh, look, I just got a text from Glen Kessler. 7:35 now. He's held up. So that's okay because it's taking us 20 minutes to do the intro. So that's all right. David, this is episode 335 of the Disney Crush Podcast.
If you say so.
We actually had to do an emergency podcast last week because with the Easter holiday, we didn't have an episode and you had retrieved some old sound we had that we talked about lounges. And then our friend Kurt did a lounge episode.
Yeah.
So we had to trash that. You may hear it in the future, but you won't hear it this week.
Edit a podcast for 5 or 6 hours and you think you've found a good diamond in the rough and you fix it and you edit it and you get it all out there. And then you look and your friend from another podcast comes out with the same exact topic. You start to scramble a little bit. Do I put it out? Do I not put it out? Tony Ann, what should we do? Should we put it out or should we not put it out?
So we scrambled and recorded something else, which you heard last week.
Which was fine.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. We'll give people a break from the lounges and then we'll throw it on them.
We'll throw it on you in a few weeks and you won't even remember. But we do want to congratulate Kurt. We actually did record an episode with him a few weeks ago talking about his 10th anniversary. And this past week was his 10th anniversary. So that's a huge milestone considering most podcasts don't make it past, how many episodes, Dave? 7, 8?
That's what they say. If you can make it past 7, you're probably pretty good. So most of them don't. Did you know also that 18 to 34-year-olds, that they're consuming podcasts almost as popular as watching TV?
Wow.
The statistics, it's 48% of 18 to 34-year-olds listen to a podcast every week.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I'm not Disney podcast, but
we listen to, we're way older than 34 and we listen to at least a podcast a week. So. Yeah.
But that kind of shows you where things are kind of going.
I guess so. And I don't think a lot of our listenership is in that 18 to 34. I think most of our listeners are, most in their 40s, I would think. So, David, Disney made an announcement today that they're going to be VIP pass holder days from May 1st to June. I think Disney is weird and they made it like it's the 26th because that makes perfect sense. Mm-hmm. Stopping on the 26th instead of the 30th. Couldn't stretch it 4 more days. Had to stop it on the 26th. I'm sure they have some reason for that. Food and Wine may be starting shortly after that. So that might be the reason because Food and Wine starts in July now. So anyway, the pass holder days, they said there's going to be a new pass holder magnet, but they didn't say what it's going to be.
Tiana.
You think so?
Uh-huh.
And yeah.
You heard it here first.
Okay, if you say so. And there's going to be increased discounts, which they've done before. They've increased the discount from 10% at stores up to 20, 25. So we'll see what the discount's going to be. And they said there's going to be a pass holder lounge, but they've done that in the past. And you know what the pass holder lounge was in the past? it was a section of tables in the
it was
land
a big
pavilion.
pile of doo-doo.
It was a section of tables in the land pavilion in Sunshine Seasons. It was they had like roped off a section of Sunshine Seasons and said, "Oh, only pass holders can sit here," and that was our lounge. So we'll see. We'll see.
Hey, and when it's hot out, it actually was a nice respite.
Yeah, there was something else I heard about the shooting arcade in Magic Kingdom. I heard that's going to be closing, and they're going to make that a lounge.
That's a good spot.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's going to be a DVC lounge or something like that. It's not the pirate lounge they were talking about, I don't think.
Okay. Well,
But-
I mean, it'd be a nice view of all the people in the water and the walkway and
maybe, yeah.
maybe the Liberty boat.
Let's talk about this. I'm trying to think of what else we found out this week. There's free dining again now for Disney Plus subscribers, a new free dining deal, but it's weird. The dates are very, very limited. This offer will be available starting April 9th. So you could start booking it on April 9th. And it's going to be for Disney Visa card members, Disney Chase Visa card members. And it's going to be the quick service plan if you're staying in a value or a moderate, and the regular dining plan if you're staying in a deluxe resort or villa. And you have to have a 4-night package with 4-day park hoppers. But it's very limited dates. It's like a week in September and a week in free dining for UK guests is coming. That's officially announced. Their dates are between July 3rd and November 7th. Those are for UK guests. So people with Chase Visa is July, August, and September. We'll just have to see what the dates are. But you have to buy a 4-day ticket with Hopper, and you have to stay for 4 nights in the resort to get it. And if you stay value or moderate, you're only going to get the quick service dining plan.
So what do you think is going to happen at Magic Kingdom with all that land and the permits and stuff?
Oh yeah, so Disney Scott Gustin, I know he had put a post that Disney's in the process of putting in for all these permits for land for their Beyond Magic Kingdom expansion. It's supposed to be one of the biggest expansions of Magic Kingdom. And I mean, it's what our friend Josh has been talking about for 2 years now, this Beyond Magic Kingdom. So we'll see. But it's, they've got to get the permits now because Disney doesn't do its own permitting anymore. So they have to go to the state and ask for permits and all that stuff, just like everybody else. And I was wondering, I'm not going to be political here, but they had just dropped their lawsuit against the state of Florida and the governing body that replaced the Reedy Creek Improvement District. And I'm wondering if that dropping of the lawsuit and the timing of them putting in for these permits are at the same time for that reason, because they want to get this moving. And with the lawsuit hanging over their heads, it might have held things up.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's the news. Magic Kingdom was closed for hopping for part of the day today, April 4th, 2024. We haven't seen Magic Kingdom close for hopping. I want to say the last time was the anniversary. Maybe during the holidays, and I didn't have my ear to the ground during the Christmas holidays, but I don't think so. I think the 50th anniversary was the last time that I remember that it closed for hopping. But it closed for hopping today on a random Thursday in April. I mean, it's during prime spring break, but
yeah, this has been really, really, really busy this year.
And the weather's beautiful.
Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous weather right now.
So
doesn't get any better in Florida.
And the wait for Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse was over 20 minutes.
Yeah, that was interesting.
for the right to climb the stairs.
Yeah. Yeah.
to see.
Your favorite. You're one of your favorites.
Oh, yes. I would wait 2 hours for that.
Mm-hmm.
No. That was one of my dad's things when I was a kid. It was, what is this? Why did we just walk up 3 flights of stairs for this? So, yes, it looms large in my family, in our family history. So, anyway, I'm trying to think what else I want to tell you.
You mean you're not going to
Yeah.
rope drop Swift's Family Robinson Treehouse?
No.
Oh, okay.
Also significant on April 4th. It's Target Day, Dave. You should go to Target and try to pick up a date if you weren't already married. But wow. April 4th is a good day to find a soulmate at Target.
Wow. Okay. Well, maybe I'll go grab Veronica and we'll just go there and flamingo a little bit.
Yes, it's the day that Richard sashayed into Target and stole my heart. So, yep. April 4th. It's also Robert Downey Jr.'s birthday. Coincidentally.
Well, happy anniversary. Or there's not really an anniversary. That's
not really. It's the day you met. So what do you call that?
That's a made connection. Not a misconnection. That was
that was a made connection.
Wow.
Yeah.
Happy connection day.
And then you know where our first date was, right? Chili's, because it was all that was open. When we met, there wasn't a lot of places open after 10 o'clock. Because that was like 100 years ago. No, it was 28 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
Now there's a lot more open after 10 o'clock. You know, Walmart. No, we have some 24-hour restaurants in the neighborhood now.
Yeah. Waffle House.
There you go. So anyway, that's about it. I have a little bit of Facebook. I don't know if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, if you got something.
I got something. Well, are you going to hit us? Because Deirdre will be mad if you don't.
This week's The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly of Facebook. I don't want anybody mad at me. Bing.
I want to express the total disappointment I had with Walt Disney World. I do not plan to ever return to the park ever. There's 2 evers in there. I pumped my almost 3-year-old granddaughter up to see Mickey, Minnie, and the Disney princesses. That was the worst trip ever, and I am so upset. We see Snow White when we first entered the park, waited in a long line to finally see her, the one and only character through the entire park, the entire day, in hopes she surely would be at the parade, to find out the parade doesn't happen anymore. And the stupid fireworks show discover there's no longer Minnie's house either. This person wrote very poorly, so I'm trying to make sense of what they wrote. So there's no longer Minnie's house either. Needless to say, I won't go back. My grandkids could not associate the park with Mickey and Minnie. A total waste of time and money and heartbreak. So they got to the park. They saw Snow White. They waited in line for Snow White. And then there were no other characters in the park all day. And there's no more Minnie's house. And there was no parade, she says, which I don't know what she's talking about. And the stupid fireworks show. I don't know. It says, hope she surely would at the parade. Oh, she hoped her granddaughter would see characters at the parade, only to find out the parade doesn't happen anymore. Or the stupid fireworks show, to discover there's no longer Minnie's house either. So, like, I guess she was just like on a word salad diarrhea. I don't know, because she just made one big long run on sentence that didn't make any sense. Apparently, there was no parade, there was no stupid fireworks, and there was no Minnie's house.
How could there be no fireworks? She should count herself lucky that there was no fireworks.
There had to be fireworks. And there was a parade. The lady just didn't look at the schedule.
She probably left at like 3 o'clock.
Didn't do any research. She was looking for the fireworks at 3 o'clock and didn't do any, like, one bit of research to find out where to find the characters, or didn't ask a cast member, my kids would really like to meet Mickey and Minnie. You know, do you know where I can find them? That's just weird. So, yeah, I don't know. I know that people think of Disney, they think of how it used to be when we were kids and how it is at Disneyland, that there are a lot of free roaming characters at Disneyland. And there were free roaming characters at Disney 20 years ago. When Michael was little, I remember seeing a lot of free roaming characters, but that changed a long time ago. The fact that she's looking for Minnie's house means she hasn't done any research because Minnie's house hasn't been there for years. Like
That's a troll. Probably a troll.
Since before the new Fantasyland. So before Snow White's Mine Train. So, yeah.
Oh, well, you know what? I would normally say that's one less person in the parks, but now one less person in the parks, you wouldn't even be able to tell the difference anymore. I mean,
no, that's true.
Make a dent. This was in, I think one of the pass holder groups. It says, looking forward to the new magnet coming out soon and adding it to my car. Mm-hmm. I'm running out of room, so may have to start putting them on the side of my car. And this person has a picture of like all the good magnets, like Oswald and Hey Hey and Figment and
they had a Disney Crush sticker on their car too.
Shh. I forgot all about that when this person posted it. And then under that picture, he's got Chip and Dale magnets.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And they're laughing, so like, haha, it's, like a joke, like, like mm-hmm. people. But you would be surprised at some of the comments.
Because they didn't know that it was you.
Well, the people, they just think that, like, here, I stopped putting magnets on my car and bought a window sticker instead. I didn't have them on for more than 12 hours before they were taken off my car in the Magic Kingdom parking lot.
Right.
I assume you glue. Here's one. I assume you glue them on because ain't no way half haven't been stolen already. Another one said, park it in the right spot and someone will steal them. Yeah, you think? Another one said, this one was great. Let me know where you are parked. I would like to see them up close. This is like walking into a club with a $60,000 gold chain with diamonds. You know you're going to get jacked.
That's true.
And one person says, looks like half of them are about to pop off all on their own. Here's another one. There's other parts of the car you can put them. Here's another one. We got rear-ended a few years back, and I lost all of ours that flew off on I-4. We only have our most recent ones since the Rona allowed tickets again.
They flew off the car?
I guess that must have been a bad wreck. Surprised no one has taken any off. I've had one stolen, and I don't put them on my car anymore. Careful, someone stole my Orange Bird magnet when I was at Epcot 2 months ago. I was devastated. Here's another one, Doug. Oh, Douglas, I love you. I'm missing a couple. Thanks for the alert. Now I did this on purpose, knowing it was going to get. I know. I was afraid people were going to tell me I was a troll and stuff. But,
you are a troll, Dave. That is trolling. That is actually trolling.
Okay, well, I'm a troll. Okay, here's the thing. I normally don't ever come on and do stuff like that in any of the groups. You do. I see you in the groups a lot. You're very helpful. No, you are. You're very helpful when you're on there. And so, but I never comment. I never go, except for our group and maybe.
You're never helpful.
I'm not helpful at all. No, I don't know anything. But I said, I just had a little thing today. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna hit that bee's nest. I'm just gonna stir it up a little bit.
Well, Andy sent me something. I don't even know what you'd call it. It's not a missed connection. I mean, it is a missed connection, but it's not a missed connection. It's not that kind of missed connection. It's kind of a weird misconnection. I don't know. No, that's even too sultry for this one.
Where's your original music?
What do you mean? It's this one.
I like that. That's what everybody knows.
Yeah, but that's creepy because this is about a child. So
well, then I probably wouldn't do it then if I was you.
So
I said that a minute ago. You might not want to do this one.
No, it's not creepy. Well, it's kind of creepy, but it's not. They're not looking for the child. So this is most likely a long shot, but worth a try. I'm looking for someone I briefly met in Epcot today at Nine Dragons. My 5-year-old actually met you during dinner, and I was shocked at how social and confident she was while speaking to you. You mentioned to me you were a child therapist, and I should have asked you for your business card and contact information, but I didn't. I tried looking for you afterwards, hoping that we'd run into each other. I didn't catch your name at all, but I can't stop thinking about how quickly you built a rapport with my child. That's creepy.
Run, run, run away.
I don't know. It's like I need a misconnection for my kid. I don't know.
I told you it was kind of creepy. First you said, no, it's not creepy. And then now you're telling me it's creepy. So which one is it? Is it creepy or not?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're on here and you had dinner with your son at Epcot tonight at Nine Dragons and spoke to my daughter, please reach out to me.
She should have just said, meet me at Target and we can make a connection.
No, Target's only for special people.
Oh, okay. I get you. All right.
Yep. So Dave, we have some guests on. We have Amanda Lamb, Rebecca Rudin, and Glen Kessler, who just got back from Walt Disney World. And Glenn started a chat for this episode, and it's called Crushing Children, which is a little alarming.
He was really proud of himself for that. Just so you know.
For crushing children.
There's a lot of different ways you can interpret that. I want to leave that up to the listener. You clearly have made your choice.
Okay.
It says a lot more about you than us, I think.
I'm wondering what the other interpretations might be. I'm trying to think. No.
Remember that scene in Star Wars? The compactor?
When they're in the compactor? Yes.
Yeah, crushing children. There were moments on this trip. Not to give too much away. They were actually angels most of the time. But
okay, good.
A couple of times we had to crush some children.
So you guys all went on spring break together with the kids. How many people were there total in this group?
12, right? 7
rolling,
kids, 5 adults mostly.
So you were outnumbered.
Oh yeah.
Great. So did this happen organically? Like you guys had a trip with your kids and Amanda had a trip with her kids, and or was this planned from day one that you were going to all go together?
I think it was kind of a mixed bag. So for those who don't know, I separated from my wife about a year ago, and Rebecca and I have been dating. And this was our first.
Really?
Some people are starting to get the hint. Yes, when seeing the pictures out there. So this was really our first big Disney trip as a new little family of 5. And that was part of it. And I love that idea. And the kids are off on spring break, and I have them. So there was that. But then I think I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I want poor Rebecca to be sidled only with my family and my children the whole time.
Right.
So we're like, maybe we should bring some friends along. And that kind of led into inviting some other people.
Right.
And Amanda's 3 boys are very comparable age. And we thought that would be a good match. They didn't know one another beforehand. And then something else that I think you had a role in, Tony Ann, was our letters to Talmage, our weather connections to Talmage. And it had been pouring here in Maryland many months back. And I recorded a video with my Harrison, and he said, hey, Talmage, it's raining here, and all this stuff. And then Talmage said to his mom, to Tori, is that my friend?
Oh.
And they hadn't met yet or anything like that. And Tori, of course, said, yes, that's your friend, and you haven't met him yet. And so that was why we kind of brought Tori in, so that Talmage could meet them. So it became a lot of different things. It was meeting Talmage, it was making new friendships, and it was important that we didn't have any cliques already, any kids that knew one another already. And we can talk a little bit, like I met with Rob Madiri beforehand, and we all met with Andy a little later, but we didn't want any super cliques beforehand. Now we've created a clique, I think, right?
Right. Crushing Kids. That's their name now. All right.
There's
awesome.
secret handshakes and all.
I saw that. I saw some of that. So Rebecca, I know you're the Uber planner. So how much planning went into this big trip?
I
saw those ADRs.
Yeah, so there was a lot of coordinating for the ADRs, but we actually didn't plan a ton. We planned like the meals per day and we had 2 park days, but I feel like we didn't plan that much ahead of time.
Okay. Well, that's actually good, especially when you have a big group of kids and you don't know how they're going to mix and different kids need different paces and breaks and things. So I think that's good until you saw how they were going to be. But I did hear you had a big scavenger hunt, right?
We didn't do it.
It didn't happen? Oh my goodness. So will you do it with us in April? Can we do it?
Yeah, we can bring it along for our food crawl if you want. Glen,
I still have the laminated bingo cards that you made. She put so much effort and so much thought.
Oh, we're doing it.
Into it. You really.
And then we just sat at the pool.
That's okay though. That's okay though. Because sometimes that's what kids need. And that's the thing. You never know. And it's good I think it's good when you have kids, especially of different ages and stuff, to be willing to throw the plan out the window if it's not going to work, especially at Disney where there's so much overstimulation and the weather is always iffy and things like that. So
I would have forced that down their throats. Like, we got 20 minutes. Let's do this thing. Let's get it going.
Well, that's the problem. That's why we let Rebecca run the show.
Yeah.
Amanda.
I think the adults too had were a little worn out by the time we got to that point. So I think it was important for the adults to not do it.
To chill.
Yeah.
So Amanda, were your kids excited to meet some other kids? And
yes, my kids were so excited, and we actually stayed a little bit longer than everyone else, and we had a great time. Just as our family of 5,
right.
When everyone else left, but my kids kept on saying this would be more fun if our friends were here.
Aww, that's awesome. That's really awesome.
Should we tell them that? So we made these videos introducing ourselves beforehand for the kids. We recorded each of the kids making a little video, and that was so funny because their personalities, I feel like, kind of really came out, and in some ways, and then not at all in other ways. Amanda's eldest Garrison, he was like kind of goofy in his video, and he's very goofy in person. But then Lawrence, the little guy, in his video, he was like super quiet and he like disappeared behind the couch. That dude was the life of the party. He was holding court in the adult jacuzzi. He was the king at the bowling alley. We'll tell these stories maybe as the day goes on. But
I think that's just part of Lawrence's personality. He didn't want to do the video, and so he was going to do the minimum. But then when he wants to do something, it's big.
Is Lawrence the one who said "Siva Boo"?
Yes.
Yeah. So on Flight of Passage, you know how they say "Siva Co." Lawrence didn't like it. "Siva Boo." That was what he thought of Flight of Passage. So
yep.
So highlights. I heard that you found the kangaroos. I heard they're real. Are you going to admit it finally out loud publicly?
I was so sad that it was us who found it because we can I tell her what we were going to do?
So it was all a prank, and I said, "Okay, everyone, all the kids have to go in front of the Tree of Life, and you all have to hop around like kangaroos." And they were not into it. They did a partial hop video. And then we're like, wait, there's actually kangaroos back there. That wasn't supposed to happen.
So people don't know, when I was there in February with some of our friends, I said, we need to go find the kangaroos around Tree of Life. And everybody said there are no kangaroos around Tree of Life, including Jeff Apolka, who goes to Animal Kingdom like every 2 weeks. He's like, there's no kangaroos. Like, yes, there are. There are kangaroos, I swear. And nobody believed me.
To be fair, we walked past them, and if we had not been eagle eye searching for them, we wouldn't have seen them. That enclosure is very long and thin, and they're up over the hill. You could miss them very easily. And I've probably walked past that a million times, and they have been there, and we've missed them. And I was one of the loudest opponents of you, and I'm like, I've never seen kangaroo there.
Yes, he was. Mm-hmm. Because he always has to think he knows more about Disney than I do, and we all know he really doesn't. But I digress.
I'm interested in the matching shirts. Now, I'm not a fan of this practice, but did you guys have any pushback from anybody in the group? Did you wear them so you wouldn't lose each other, or what was the matching shirts about? I don't mind if people choose to publicly express their happiness so that's cool.
Yes, you do.
Well, I feel like we kind of talked about it quickly, then everyone was really on board, so we just did it. But I do have to say, with that many kids, it was really convenient having matching shirts, and you could like spot as we were walking if they were walking a little ahead or a little behind. It was very easy to see them. So
yeah, because before you guys came on, I was saying it was kind of like probably like herding cats, and I have some experience in this, and it can be challenging at times.
I think all of our children are very independent and confident, and that is a virtue most of the time in their life. But at Disney, it means they might walk very much farther ahead than we want them to.
Right.
And we had 2 sets of matching shirts. The first time was everyone had the same shirt, and it was all the same color. And then 2 days later, we had separate colors per family.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Rebecca and I were saying, like, this was a fatal flaw. Like, it's so much easier when they're all one color. We should have done the same color all the days, and probably should have gone with Tori's bright red instead of our gray and forest green, heather green, whatever color. So,
well, Tori is the queen of coordinated outfits, so you had the right person. That's cool. And all of these kids really know Disney. All of these kids have been to Disney multiple times. They've grown up going to Disney, so it's good that you found kind of a new angle for them, the meeting of the friends. I think that's what happened to all of us. We all went to Disney on our own for years and been there, done that. And then we all discovered each other as friends. And now we go to Disney differently. And so maybe now the kids look at Disney differently.
I hope so. And this really opened up, I think, a different element than they've ever had before. We've traveled with family, like extended family, and right. They've had kids that they knew coming in. But I really think that, like you're saying, Tony Ann, like the experience of having people you don't know, and Disney's the bond, and then you find friendship, that is very similar to what each of us has formed with one another. And, clearly more even than friendships can show up, long-term friendships and deep relationships. And I hope that they'll continue. They're all playing Roblox together now is one of the outcomes of this whole thing. They all play Roblox, and they're all excited about sharing and chatting in there. And Talmage was really the first one through the shoot on that video game. That he types in all of his stuff, and he's got a really evolved character, and the kids were like so thrilled about that. So they would be playing that. I think, were they playing that at the bowling alley? Or was it only later at Spaces? So they'd be on their devices and playing with one another. Now that we're home, same deal.
We talk about Talmage like everybody knows him because he is a rock star in our group, but Talmage is our friend Tori Hunt's son. He's a little bit older than the other boys, but he got in well with them, right?
He's actually only 12. He's a lot taller than all the other boys.
He's a lot taller than the other boys.
Yeah, but my eldest is 13, and they were bonding, and they fit right in. It was so cool.
Good. That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I heard from Andy, because our friend Andy did meet you guys for a meal, and he texted me from the restaurant, and he said, "This place is a cluster."
My actual worst nightmare.
The restaurant we're talking about is T-Rex in Disney Springs, and you guys planned a big meal. There were 14 of you. So why did Andy tell me it was a cluster? Go ahead, Rebecca, because it's your worst nightmare.
It was. And I can sum it up. Milo, my favorite quote from the weekend, at the end of the meal said, "This is an insult to the dinosaurs." So
Milo is how old? 8?
8.
Wise words.
And I said, yes, Milo.
Was it the food, the service, or both?
So it was everything all around. So checking in was fine. Like everything was fine at the beginning, which was actually, I have to say, every meal we had, they were able to combine our table and deal with our large group. So that was good across the board. We sat down. I don't know how many of you have been there, but it's really loud. It's giant. We were sat in the bar area, so I don't know if that made it louder or busier. But the worst part of it is our meal took 2 hours, over 2 hours.
Yeah, from start to finish, over 2 hours. And that's maybe not the worst part of it. It was that the first people to receive their food received their food 28 minutes before the last person at our table received their food.
Oh my gosh.
People were done with their meals and others hadn't gotten theirs at all yet. And food kept coming out of the kitchen and going right past us to other tables. We're like, what is going on here? Where did half the food go?
And it wasn't like they brought out the kids' foods first.
Yeah.
Because there were kids that got their food like way, like didn't AJ get his food way at the end? Yeah.
Well, he got his pizza or whatever he ordered for the table at the beginning, his caprese pizza, and then the rest of his food at the end. Like, what is going on here? Because he's allergy, not sensitive. So we're like, oh, maybe that's a problem. Nope, that was not the problem. There was no rhyme or reason to it. And it was loud, and the food just was, not very good. It was TGI Fridays, Applebee's, kind of quality food. Not very inspired, not very interesting. I don't think any of us would go back there ever again.
Well, I think maybe you had some sophisticated palates in the group, and that's what happened. They just didn't like where they were at.
It's clearly a restaurant for kids and families who don't mind. I mean, it's like maybe not quite a character meal kind of level of like what Hollywood and Vine maybe used to be, that you're getting a show. So who cares about the quality of the food?
Right.
But it was, I don't know. Again, I don't know who the clientele is, but it's definitely not us.
All right. So we're not going there in April.
No. And the meteor showers and the dinosaurs moving. And then you're just sitting there with no food. It just keeps happening and going.
Gosh.
We went there when the kids were young, and that was a one and done for us too.
Yeah.
I've never been there. That's one place I've never been. I've never been to T-Rex.
Yeah. Rebecca and I, a few months ago, we put together a list of all the restaurants we hadn't been, and we tried to check a lot of them off on this trip. And I think this was part of the reason that we booked this one. And Andy said, he wanted to go there. It's his son's favorite. And so we felt bad kind of trashing it and having such a bad experience.
Yeah, but Andy trashed it too. He said it was awful.
Yeah, it was just not a good vibe that night.
The positives were the kids could be loud.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that was one of the reasons why we picked it too, because we wouldn't have to worry about keeping the kids quiet. So that was one positive. Maybe the only positive.
There was a restaurant that our friend Glen was not excited about coming to Walt Disney World. He had given it multiple chances near home. Go ahead, Glen, because I know you're going to eat your words.
And I will happily. They were delicious and they tasted
your
good.
Your words were delicious.
Yeah. Eating these words, I look forward to eating these words every trip now, potentially. The Summer House, we have one by us. It's, in my favorite little shopping center near here, and I love to go there all the time. But I've been to Summer House maybe 3 times, and every time was bad. And after the second time, I was like, oh, I'm never going back there. And we had talked about that it was coming to Disney Springs. I said, I'm going to try it one more time. And it disappointed me again. The kids didn't even like it. So I went in. I'd heard the positive reviews from the people about the Disney one. And I said, let's give it a shot. And, Rebecca found us a nice, actually this one we went on the fly. This was not a pre-made reservation. I used my charms to get us in for this one. And boy, oh boy, did we get the best spot. They have it's very open and airy, even inside of the restaurant, but we were in the outside patio at the back, which is lovely. And we had a beautiful day. It was sunny and clear and a little windy, but we didn't feel it. So the environs were great. The staff was incredibly kind and helpful. Rebecca and I helped ourselves to a champagne. They give you a bottle of Prosecco, or you can choose a bottle of champagne for about double the price. And they bring out 4 different juices that you can combine to make your own flight, as it were, of mimosas. And that was really fun. We got some salad. We got a Brussels sprout, shaved thin salad with some seared ahi tuna on top. That was incredible. Without asking, they split it into 2 plates. The kids got burgers. They were satisfactory. Edamame. The edamame. Oh, Rebecca, talk about the edamame.
I'm terrible at describing food, but the edamame was good. but on the bottom of it was arugula, which we weren't expecting to be much of anything. But what was on it? Just lemon and salt, and was there anything else?
That was it. Lemon and salt, but the lemon, salt, and maybe a little bit of olive oil or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Made for a fantastic dressing. The arugula that was just the bed underneath was the most delicious salad. Anyway, the cookies, we got some cookies at the end. They were all nut safe for AJ, which was fantastic to hear. And it was a great experience, top to bottom. Our waitress was outstanding, except heavy pork. Pro tip: if you do order this Prosecco, this bottle of Prosecco or champagne with the juices. Mm-hmm. Don't let your waitress have a heavy pour hand like she did with us. She poured like half the bottle out to get us started. But then there's 4 juices. Like, what are we going to do with that? So we ended up pouring it back into a water glass as a holding tank so that we could split it and make our way through. And we had our favorites, but I'm not going to tell you which ones you have to have.
Okay, you have to try it for yourself.
Yeah, you definitely.
So was that a brunch thing, the mimosas? Were you there for brunch or?
It was on the brunch menu, but I cannot answer you if that's a brunch thing.
Okay.
But it was the brunch menu that we had.
And I did notice they are on Open Table, and I went to look for Mother's Day weekend, and it's already filling up. So if people are thinking you want to go, as the word gets out, as people listen to this podcast and the whole world hears about it, Open Table has reservations, and I would check it because I did make one for Mother's Day weekend, and the times were already filling up. So,
and I would say Glen did have to use his charm, or maybe his 3 children, to get on the back patio. But I just made a reservation, and I put in the notes that I wanted to be on the back patio. Okay. So I don't know if that would. We'll see if that helps.
Okay, cool.
The situation or not, but.
Yeah, we actually had no reservation, just so you know, like
just
full candor. We were like, we'll go there, we'll see if we can get a seat. If we can't, fine, we'll do something else. And they were ready to seat us immediately. Rebecca had not even arrived. And I said, oh, I'm so sorry. No, we're not ready yet. Can I wait until my 5th member is here? And they were like, yeah, sure, just come back to the hostess stand. And they sat us immediately after we came back 20, 30 minutes later. So very hospitable. Cool. It was easy.
Dave, more cookies.
Yeah, I know. Lovely cookies. Did you get the lemon?
And no line, Dave. No line. And you don't have to butt into people and prank them. And
yeah, I think the lemon was the favorite, right, Rebecca?
With the bomb.
Yeah, I keep telling everyone to get the lemon. I think that was the best one.
To be honest, though, we ordered all of them, and apparently they all came home with me uneaten. And so I don't know if you tried any other ones, Rebecca. The chocolate one, AJ
we
got.
Tried. We all took bites right before we went into Whispering Canyon, which was the issue because we didn't want to eat all of the cookies before going into that. And then I feel like we just didn't bring them out again.
Right.
Did you have any other really great meals, Amanda? Well, I mean, because you had a longer trip. So did you have anything that anything new you tried or anything that excited you?
After they left, we kind of stuck with like quick service. So nothing really stood out. No, I can't really think of anything. We did go to Abracadabra. Okay. We stayed at Boardwalk afterward, and just me and Milo went in there, and he thought it was so cool to be in that bar. And the server comes over and asked what we wanted, and Milo, without missing a beat, was like, "I'd like a vodka," and the bartender. Or the server, like without missing a beat either, said, "Well, would you like that shaken or like on the rocks or stirred?" Like, and then he ordered a.
Are you talking about me?
Yes, I am talking.
Yes, we are talking about you.
But then he ordered a mocktail, and he was like, "Mom, please taste this first and make sure it doesn't have any alcohol in it." So he wanted to be safe. he liked that. That was a fun little experience for the two of us.
And this wasn't a good restaurant, but I feel like it was a good pivot. We were going to go to Tony's, which some of us went to in February.
Right, in February.
So we kind of changed it up and just decided to let the kids run around the hub grass. And we got quick service. Like we let them all pick what they wanted. And we just went to all different quick service places and sat outside and ate. And they were able to run around.
I think that'll be a cherished memory for the kids. It was not terribly memorable for the adults necessarily to eat hot dogs on the hub grass, although it was very charming.
I love corn dog nuggets.
You do love your corn dog nuggets. But the kids pretending that the hub grass was lava and jumping and running and playing in that enclosed space where it wasn't rowdy, we weren't getting bad looks from anyone, and they got to run off a little energy, and we felt safe that they couldn't get too far away. That was a really wonderful kind of core memory experience, I think, for them.
I know, Amanda, you mentioned that you had some alone time with just your family. How many parks did you guys go to together? Was it just one, or did you go to several other parks together too?
So as a big group, we did all 4 parks. We did two days with 2 parks a day. And then my family, we were there, I think 3 or 4 days afterward. And we did a park each day, but just for like 2 hours. My kids wanted to do Tron again and Guardians again and Everest again. So we would go into a park, do the one ride they wanted to do, and then leave. My husband, Alan, went, and he only had the 2-day park hoppers. So he likes the downtime. He gets stressed out in the parks. So he enjoyed a little bit of downtime while me and the kids went back to the parks for a couple hours each day.
Tell me about Splitsville. You guys went to Splitsville. Did you just bowl, or did you eat and bowl?
Of course we ate. We ate and we drank everywhere we went. Yeah, we had a little bit of sushi.
Mm-hmm.
Did someone get a burger? I can't remember. I think someone might have.
I ate someone's
Alan
chicken
got a
nuggets.
Lawrence's.
Well, there was like a group event happening right next to us, and they had all these nuggets and things sitting out. And it was everything to just not reach over the chair and grab a nugget or two and pop that. But no, the sushi is always good there. Simple, great stuff.
I keep hearing that Splitsville's a good place to have a group event. So we need to look into that next time we want to do a group event. But
it's cavernous. You could absolutely, if the bowling alley area was filled, you could go to the bar area. There's upstairs, there's downstairs, there's the outdoor area where they have music sometimes. I mean, it's a great place for a big group.
We might need to think about that.
That was one of the places I was able to make one reservation for 15. So it's pretty easy for a big group.
So who was the star bowler?
Well,
Glen was bullying the children into letting the adults play, because we just let the kids play.
Boring. Yeah, we said, okay, whoever's in last place or the last 4 places at the halfway mark, you can choose. It was not a bully. It was just a mild manipulation. And, can have an adult help you out. So they would choose their parent or choose their adult to go in there. And I don't know, to varying degrees of success, shall we say.
Nobody picked you, did they, Glenn?
No, they picked me first, and that was fine. But they picked Rebecca because they'd heard legend of that Rebecca will have 1 or 2 espresso martinis and then just bowl strikes. She had not had her requisite espresso martinis at this point, and just promptly put it in the gutter. We would pick up like 1 pin.
I kept telling them not to pick me, and I think I got picked by one of your kids, Glenn, and I think Amanda, one of your kids, picked me too. And I was like, why keep picking me? Just want to eat your chicken nuggets.
We had 2 other meals I think that were maybe of note would be we'll start with the negative one first, shall we? Beaches and cream is normally a hit, and I think the food was still okay. It was still good. The grilled cheese was a winner, and the soup and all that stuff. Did you not like your French dip, Rebecca?
Yeah, Tori and I both got it, and we've both gotten it before and said it wasn't as good this time. But Amanda, you said yours was better, right?
Yes, my Reuben was like probably 10 times better. Like I almost didn't order it because I didn't like it the last time, but it was so good this time.
But you didn't order the grilled cheese after you ate Wendy's grilled cheese.
No, but I thought maybe one of my kids would have a grilled cheese that I could eat the leftovers later.
Oh, wow. So what happened with your server? Because I heard it was a server problem.
Yeah, it was mostly connected to my son's allergy. We had checked in and let them know about the allergy. And at every other Disney restaurant I've ever been to, that prompts the waiter to look at a card and, oh, yes, you have an allergy. And the chef will come out and all that stuff. And that didn't really happen so much this time. And the kids were at one half of the table and the adults were at another half of the table. Again, 12 of us there. And
Right.
there was a lot going on. We had tried to bring in a cake for Tori and ice cream for my son because none of the ice cream at Disney is safe. None of it is safe.
That's
It is
terrible.
a facility. And they were really difficult about that. They said you can't put anything that's pre-opened or
Right.
even closed into our back room. You can bring stuff in. So we're sitting there with ice cream melting. It was a big, like, well-known thing that we had allergies, and the waitress never asked. And then the food came out, and AJ was like, I got the allergy friendly one. And she's like, you didn't tell me anything about any allergies. And she started yelling at us, you didn't say anything. He didn't say anything, yelling at a 13-year-old. It's his fault. And then the kitchen sink has peanut butter in it, and she didn't ask, and none of the kids wanted peanut butter in it anyway, frankly.
Right.
And she didn't ask about bringing peanut butter to the table, which we would have really preferred not. And she was, again, like, the kitchen sink is already being made. We're not going to remake it for you.
Did you talk to the manager? I would have talked to the manager in that case.
Yeah, Tori got a little hot about it. So that was cool seeing her mama bear turn on. But, we kept it away, and it's just a kind of a rotten experience. Tori talked to the manager, and the manager came over, and apparently, I don't know if this is really management 101, kind of talked to the server and reprimanded the server, like, while we were still there. So we got the benefit of that post interaction. It was a weird trip. That was our same day as T-Rex. So that was not a great
it was just a bad day
for us. Yeah. Not good. So let's end on a positive note. I mean, it was kind of like it wasn't like the best meal we've ever had, but I thought it was quite fun. We went to Teppan Edo in the Japan,
nice.
The hibachi restaurant. I thought the kids really enjoyed it. We did not have the best chef because we saw the other chef. There's 4 tables in each room, and we saw the other chef flipping eggs onto his hat. Our guy didn't do that, but we did get the volcano. We got the tree of life he made out of the soba noodles and the veggies. That was cute. And he was animated and fun. We had a great experience, I thought, and the food was pretty good too. So
you're going to do it again?
Teppan Edo?
No,
that's a wrap-up question. I still got 17 more stories to tell.
Oh, no. What happened at Whispering Canyon?
I'll go on with Kurt and tell him all the stories.
Okay, go ahead. Tell him about Whispering Canyon. Amanda.
I got put into jail at Whispering Canyon.
Oh,
could you
rightfully
imagine?
so,
Immediately.
Sure, yeah.
My favorite part was, what did you say to me at night? We got back to the hotel and we're going to bed, and he was like, could you tell I was really hamming it up for the kids?
I think that's his personality.
I think anyone that has met you.
For the children.
Yeah.
He's like, you see that?
You do it for a guy who just turned 60 a couple months ago.
Yeah,
every time you see him. But
love all of you.
Would you do it again with these people? Would you bring your kids?
The whole trip again? Yeah. I would like to do like a Vero Beach or a
that
Hilton
sounds
Head
awesome.
or a Disney
Alani,
cruise.
do Alani. Why not? Shoot for the stars.
Yeah. But I mean, one of the places, like the kids obviously, and we had so much fun in the parks, but getting the kids together again in a more like relaxed environment where like to play games, and I think they would really enjoy that. And I think I would.
That'd be cool. You just go to the community hall and do the stuff there and do the beach.
Because let's be honest, like the memories were not really ride connected. I
Right.
mean, there were maybe 1 or 2. It was cool. Harrison got brave enough to go on Tron. He rode with Talmage in the sitting up seats that are at the back. They had a good time on that. But most of the memories were handshakes. Who knew that, like 7-minute long handshake routines were going to be such a big thing on this trip? Or, just figuring out who's going to hang out with who's going to sit next to who, ride appropriate, who's going to ride with who, the partnerships and the 3 groups. And, it was just really wonderful. And that could happen anywhere. And it was great to have those connections, those unexpected connections. I didn't see Milo 8 becoming AJ 13 a good friend. Like
Right.
Milo
Yeah.
was definitely like connecting with AJ, and Harrison and Garrison had some moments together, and Alden had some moments with all of them, and of course Talmage, really the MVP. I mean, everybody fell in love with Talmage, and we got to know him so much better. We hear a lot about him, and he like has this persona and this character, and we don't actually know him as a person. But I love that guy, we were. Can I tell you that? So I'm a hugger. I don't know if you guys know that.
No.
So I started hugging Talmage at the beginning. I think he was like, who is this guy hugging me? He's overcompensating, and he's hugging me.
That's what Michael thinks of you. I mean,
yeah, well, sorry.
honest.
Yeah. But by the end, he's reaching out to hug me. We're high-fiving, like, one of the boys, and it's just, I loved all these kids. I loved meeting all of them, and my boys loved meeting all of them. We still talk about you every day, which is so cool. We have to do this again because my children will not stand for it again. I don't know how I'm going to take them to Disney without you guys again.
So, Rebecca, would you do it again?
I would.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Dave, Rebecca was a little nervous getting thrown into this with all these kids.
Well,
But
since she was nervous and she did it for the first time, do you have any tips you want to share with anybody that wants to maybe subject themselves to this type of torture? I mean, trip?
Bring your comfort, people. So, Amanda and Tori. I would say, we talked about it while we were there, but it was a short trip, which I think made it like a lot each day. So I think next time we all said we would maybe make it a little longer.
Okay.
To have even more breaks or more rest time.
Right. Did you plan time to go off as an individual family versus staying together the whole time? I know Amanda said she had a couple of days without everyone else.
We talked about it and all kind of said, like, if that happens, everyone's okay with it and we're happy going off as separate families. But then I'm pretty sure none of the children would have accepted that once we started.
It's really weird because I really see the parallels between us, between our friendships, that we have this Disney bond, but we've become friends in real life, and our trips to Disney are not about the rides anymore. They stopped being about the rides a long time ago. So that's really interesting.
Yeah, I want a secret handshake.
Okay, we'll make one. We'll make
an adult
one.
secret handshake. Yeah.
Dave, I think kids are crushers too. That's what that says to me.
I think so. Yeah.
So now we're going to have to start these kid trips with.
That's what I meant when I said crushing children.
Crushing the children.
Obviously.
Crushing your head. David?
All right, you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming on. We appreciate you guys sharing this with us. Or not with us, but with everybody, with all our listeners.
I'm so happy that you guys had a great time. I know there were some nerves on many of your parts before this trip, and I'm really glad that you guys came out of the other side happy and glad you did it and ready to do it again. So,
and that's a great thing about bringing kids in like that is they're so innocent and they just seem to gel so easily into certain situations like that. Where adults sometimes we get a little hard to things and maybe a little anxiety with that kind of thing, but kids just seem to like. I don't know. They just have a way of bonding and making the experience even that much better. So that was cool. Good to see it. Good to see.
Yeah. It was really joyful to see Disney through their eyes and the combining of, as Tony had saying, like their bonds connecting in the same way that our bonds have connected. It was just a really special kind of experience. Who knew Disney could be for kids?
Oh, man. Yeah. Apparently you don't even need gin.
No, we definitely needed gin.
Oh, okay.
There was gin.
It makes tolerating people much easier, Tony.
Oh, okay. All right, Dave.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much. And I guess that's going to do it for this week's Disney Crush podcast. So I guess until next week, say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Then that's it. All right.